Good evening. Welcome to the Coffeyville City Commission for Tuesday, November 26, 2019. Tonight's invocation will be led by Chuck Cackley, pastor of Flint Hills Assembly of God Church. Please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. And if Chuck is not here, maybe Mary? Nothing like last second, right?
That's fine. As I told you once before, I can talk to my God anywhere, at any time.
Fantastic.
Amen. Amen, Mary.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this group that gathered together to focus on the problems of our city and the successes of our city. This is a good place for people to live. Revive people like me and the other families too, because we do have some excellent students. We thank you for our commissioners who are serving generously of their time, and our city staff that serves us in so many ways. Each of us have a job to serve you, Lord, wherever we may be at any time of the night. So be with us during this meeting, because we really need you. And bless each one of you. Yes, my holy name.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mary. And Allison, eventually I'm going to get it right that we're going to do roll call before we do these things. So at this time, we'll take roll.
Commissioner Doan,
Here.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Here.
Mayor Bauer,
Here.
Commissioner Van Oster. Here. Commissioner Williams.
Here. Moving to the consent agenda, City Commission meeting minutes for Tuesday, November 12, 2019, and 2019 appropriation ordinance number AO-19-22 in the amount of $4,139,623.73. Questions, comments, or amendments to these first two items on the consent agenda?
I just, once again, would like to bring out always the second appropriation ordinance of the month is very high. Just for example, 2.5 million of that is to GRDA, and then the transmission from the Southwest Power Pool in conjunction with that from GRDA is at 530,000. We have insurance, about 250,000, and our payroll this time was about 392. So that's usually always the GRDA and the Southwest Power Pool are in this second appropriation ordinance of the month, which makes it almost double from the previous one.
Thank you. With that, I'll make a motion to approve the first two items on the consent agenda as read.
And I'll second it.
Motion is made by Mayor Bauer and seconded by Vice Mayor Taylor to approve the consent agenda as presented. Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Doan,
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye. 2019 appropriation ordinance number AO-19-22A, Ishams, in the amount of $389.51. Questions, comments, amendments to this one?
No, I'd make a motion to approve the ordinance as read.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Vice Mayor Taylor and seconded by Commissioner Doan to approve the line item number 3, the appropriation ordinance number AO-19-22A for items in the amount of $389.51 as presented. Mayor Bauer,
Aye.
Commissioner Doan,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster.
Abstain.
Item number 4, 2019 appropriation ordinance number AO-19-22B, Iron Time, amount of $78.84. Questions, comments, or amendments to this item?
I'll make a motion that we approve appropriation ordinance AO-19-22B for Iron Time, 7884.
Second.
Motion is made by Commissioner Van Oster and seconded by Mayor Bauer to approve the appropriation ordinance number AO-19-22B to Iron Time in the amount of $78.84. Vice Mayor Taylor,
Abstain.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Doan,
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster,
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye. This time we'll move into regular agenda items. We've got several things on here tonight. First one is going to be, this is for public hearing, special presentation, and proclamations. We have a census proclamation. I'll come down and read it. We also have a Water Rescue and Life Saving Award and a swearing in of one of our officers, Michael Burrows. So, come down and read this. Allison, do you want to come in since you're on the board also?
That way he doesn't have to read it to himself.
Good point. So whereas the census is vital to our community and the data ensures fair congressional representation by determining how many seats each state will have in the U.S. House of Representatives, as well as the redistricting of state legislature and city councils and voting districts. And whereas the census is also used to help determine where to locate schools, daycare centers, senior citizen centers, hospitals, and other facilities, it is used to make decisions concerning business growth and jobs. And whereas census data is the basis for the allocation of billions of dollars of federal, state, and county funds for social and other programs. And whereas the census is used for planning for public transportation services, planning health and education services for people with disabilities, urban planning, land use planning, developing assistance programs for low-income families, making business decisions, school projects, developing adult education programs, and attracting new businesses to state and local areas. And whereas the census information is confidential and federal law prohibits any public or private agency from gaining access to confidential census data, and whereas the City of Coffeyville is committed to collaborating with the U.S. Census Bureau in preparing for the Census 2020 through address list updates, census map corrections, and jurisdictional boundary updates. Now, therefore, I, Paul Bauer, Mayor of Coffeyville, do hereby proclaim the City of Coffeyville to be a Census 2020 partner and recognize the Census 2020 as a top priority for all departments and appointed officials, and encourage the community to place the emphasis on partnering with the U.S. Census Bureau in achieving an accurate and complete count in Census 2020. Thank you. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job, Mayor.
Thanks, sir. This time, we'll have Fire Chief Billy Cockman and Police Chief Quinn Bromley come forward. I believe they have some presentations to present for some awards, water safety, water rescue, and life-saving awards.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, Board, guests. Well, when I first got here, I did say I would take the job as long as I had some good people. And probably the first week, I found out that I didn't have any good people. That I
You
had
did or didn't?
Did
I'm
not.
sorry.
I did not.
Okay.
Did
Okay.
not.
Okay.
Yes, sir. What I had was an all-star team. I had some of the best. And even after that second week that I was here, then the third week, then they started proving it, that they were even better than the best. So I'm very proud to pass out these awards. And I'm very proud that these guys represent the city of Coffeyville, the community of Coffeyville. And I want you guys to know that you probably couldn't be better protected. So
All right.
I did not. Oh, I'm sorry. What I'd like to do right now is call up 3 personnel. That's going to be Captain Rex Reedon, Lieutenant Kevin Midget, and Firefighter Caleb Horn. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm going to read the brief statement, then I'll tell the story real quick. But let's see if my reading skills are up to date. The City of Coffeyville presents this Unit Accommodation Award for Water Rescue presented to Captain Rex Reedon, Lieutenant Kevin Midget, and Firefighter Caleb Horn for outstanding performance for actions of heroic water rescue. Now, on August 8th, we had 2 water rescues in one day. How outstanding is it just to have one, but to have 2? 2 unfortunate incidents that turned into great incidents. One was out in LaBelle, called us out. We went out there. They took the boat out there. By the time they got there, water was over the top of the cars. The gentleman, it was an older gentleman in the house, he couldn't get out. They actually saved him. Probably if they wouldn't have got the call in time, he probably would have had a lot more issues. So they got him out of his house, rescued him, rescued his dog, brought him on in, and he was safe to go. So you figure that's a great day, isn't it?
Very.
Yeah. A few hours later, we get another call. The chief gets to go with them and watch them in action this time. This is how I know I'm so proud of them. Get a call of a vehicle washed away. We get to a road that was flooded over, had pushed a vehicle in a ditch. The lady couldn't get out, couldn't move. The water was rushing up all the way to the top of her hood. She got out of the window and sat on top of the cab. When we got there, the water was still rushing up. No doubt in my mind that if we wouldn't have got there in time, she'd either had to really learn how to swim sideways, or there would have been a lot of issues. These guys put the boat right there where the road was. They hammered the boat down, they got it to the position, rescued her, and walked her out and made sure she was good, sent her over to EMS. What heroic is that? You know, these guys did two great deeds in one day. I'm so proud of them. What I want to do is present them with awards, and I would like everybody to appreciate our brothers.
Fire Chief, I got a question for you. All these three guys.
They did not. Oh, I'm sorry.
These three guys were on both the deals?
Yes, sir.
Same three?
Same three.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Unit accommodation. They were on the same unit.
Okay, I got it.
The captain ran it, and the
That
other
was
two.
kind of unique, that the same three were on the same deal.
Yes, sir. 2 in 1 day is amazing,
Okay.
as it is.
Just confirming that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. They did.
They did. I would like to call up one of the Coffeyville's finest police officers, Terrence Gaston, please. This is going to be a combination award, and I'll let the police chief speak in just a second. Everybody knows I like to speak, so I get to go first. But I'm just going to read once again the brief part of what happened here, then I'm going to tell a story, and I tell you what, this one's amazing. The Coffeyville Fire Department believes in the recognition of their officers and other officers that protect this community, their actions and outstanding efforts in service to the community and fellow officers. In keeping with this belief, the City of Coffeyville, the Coffeyville Fire Department, the Coffeyville Police Department presents this life-saving award with the combination of both the police and fire. I'm going to tell this quick story. This gentleman right here, this little guy, was called out on a regular call. He knew there was something going on, something wasn't right. There was a baby involved. The baby had been born probably that day or early on the evening of the day before. The baby had not been to the hospital. The baby had not been fed. They had tied off the umbilical cord with a shoestring and cut it themselves. After hearing of this officer demanded to see this baby, would not leave till the lady showed him the baby. When he saw it, he immediately knew there was an issue. He called the fire department. He called EMS. That baby, when we got there, and I've been doing this about 30 years, I can tell you, the baby wasn't going to make it. That gentleman right there saved that baby's life. They had to take that baby to Tulsa. The baby's doing well today. So this is a life-saving award that I'm very proud of.
I can't follow up with anything other than what he's already said, so congratulations, Terrence. Tippy toes,
once again, I appreciate y'all's time, and yes, I did look like that when I was 30, just to let everybody know. But I want the community and everybody here to know how great, outstanding young men we have on both the fire and police department. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where are you guys going?
Exit stage right this time.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, guys. You looked awful good tonight.
Especially that one in the back.
Is that all the whole fire department?
Surely not.
It must be, there's gotta be somebody back at the station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's gotta be left to take the call. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, gentlemen.
Well, see, I wondered where they were going, see?
Michael Burrows, if you come forward, please. Come on in, Joe. We're gonna do a law enforcement oath. You raise your right hand, repeat after me. On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Kansas, my community, and the agency I serve. Congratulations. All right, thank you.
Sorry, the wrong one.
All right, I'm gonna give them a minute. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It pays off to be noisy sometimes.
Yeah. Mr. Gaston.
That you texted me all this? I'm right in the middle of getting an award and you texted me.
Right?
I'll talk to you about it.
You were checking to see if his phone was silenced, didn't you?
All right. Just had to give them a couple minutes, so get here to my place in line. All right, so we'll move into new business. Resolution number R-19-68, a resolution regarding approval of Next Generation 911 NG 911 services for the County of Nowata, Oklahoma, MOA. Police Chief Quinn Bromley will make comments.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Good evening. We have Chad Souls, our Communication Director, step up here with me. He actually was the primary individual involved with making this happen. He did all the legwork. Earlier this year, the officials out of Nowata County approached us and inquired if the Coffeyville Police Department would be entertaining the idea of possibly providing 911 services for the County of Nowata, Oklahoma. I apologize, I'm starting to lose my voice.
It's that time of year.
We began looking at some of the information that they provide us, statistics, et cetera, and felt that it was something that we could possibly offer their community. I'm going to read this information to you. Yeah. In 2018, the State of Oklahoma 911 Authority mandated that all Oklahoma counties begin their initial phasing of mapping, addressing for the future installation of Next Generation 911. Oklahoma is currently still installing the E911 public safety answering points throughout the state of Oklahoma. Nowata County, Oklahoma does not have E911. And if you recall, E911 is a system that we just stepped away from and went to the Next Generation. The state of Oklahoma the 911 Authority directed that all Oklahoma counties become compliant with E911 requirements by January 1 of 2020. The cost associated with the infrastructure requirements, personnel, E911 installation, and other equipment was cost prohibitive to the county of Nowata. Nowata County officials recognized the city of Coffeyville already had the infrastructure, trained personnel, and system requirements already in place, which was needed for the 911 services. Nowata County, Oklahoma requested a proposal for Coffeyville to provide next-gen 911 services to the county of Oklahoma. The Nowata 911 Trust Authority and the Nowata County Commission selected the city of Coffeyville over the other Oklahoma 911 providers for the next generation services. So the details of the agreement are pretty basic. If somebody dials 911 in Nowata County, it will ring to Coffeyville. We will answer that phone, that call. We will utilize our protocols for emergency fire, emergency medical, dispatching, and at the same time dispatching out through paging of their rural fire and EMS services. All other calls will be transferred to the Sheriff's Department in Nowata. With that, if we become inundated with calls for service, the proposal also allows us just to automatically transfer those calls so we can take care of what we have up here first. That will be probably a rarity, but we wanted that in there as well.
Yep.
In exchange for this service, we will collect we will receive all 911 taxes collected in Oklahoma, in Nowata County. I'm going to specify that. And those are, the numbers aren't specific because landlines, we don't quite know how many landlines there are, but we're looking at 84,000 in tax collections for the service, and it could go up a little bit more than that.
Okay.
And that's an annual. With that, I've already visited with the city manager. We will be required to put on an additional dispatcher to help offset those calls. We're looking at days of the week and hours of the day where our priority calls are, and we'll have all those details worked out. This is a really good proposal and a really good opportunity for the city of Coffeyville to extend our services outside our immediate area. It'll be very beneficial for both the citizens of Coffeyville and the citizens of Nowata County. If this commission does approve this MOA, then it will go to the state of Oklahoma for final approval. Seeing the audience, a member of the 911 Trust Authority is here as well. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, or I may have to defer to our communications director.
You answered the only question I had, and that was the funding of the additional person, so.
Not I.
So I guess, Quinn, the capacity, you know, and I forgot your name, I'm sorry, I had that wrote down.
Chad.
Chad, okay, Chad. Chad and Quinn. Our capacity is good enough to take it on. I mean, we're kind of on the border, so we're going north to we're just taking care of Montgomery County right now, or is it up to halfway to Independence, or what's the deal?
Yeah, we provide 911 coverage for the southern half of Montgomery County.
And now we've got,
And we're already providing some 911 coverage for the northern half of Nowata County as it is, South Coffeyville and the 255
The 255 exchange.
exchange area. So this is just taking it further south. In my analysis and that I provided you in the packet, excuse me. It's going to break down to 16 calls, 16 911 calls every in a 24-hour period. So we divide that by 3 is what it's going to roughly break down. But we still need that other personnel in there because we do get busy,
So,
especially during the spring. We start having the fires both in Montgomery and Nowata County.
that sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yep. I wouldn't come before you if it weren't.
Okay.
I have questions. Does this include the city of Nowata itself?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And my next question is, does this include cell phone 911 calls from Nowata County?
Yes.
Okay. And my next question is, are we getting cell phone calls to Coffeyville 911 Center from Montgomery County?
Currently, we're not.
Why?
The state of Kansas 911 board has indicated that the geospatial routing process, we're not slated for that until,
The beta testing's done.
So we're good enough to take,
we're ready.
well, what I'm saying though is that we're good enough deemed by the state of Oklahoma to receive their calls by 911 cell phone, but our own state of Kansas hasn't deemed us good enough to take our own 911 calls by cell phone?
Good question.
Who controls that?
The 911 coordinating council and.
And
city
who's on
manager.
that council?
Well, there's a bunch of members on it. Locally from Montgomery County, Chief Harrison from Independence and
David Catlin.
David Cowan from Independence.
Okay, and where do those cell phone calls that are currently in Montgomery County go now?
They are going to Independence.
That's all the questions I have.
Well, so you know all this, right, from your job?
No, I just asked the question. I was
You didn't know?
I was enlightening
Well, it
myself.
sounded like you were kind of up on it. I mean,
I
this
will
whole
tell
thing's
you-
been confusing to me.
I will tell you
You know-
that the city manager and I and our communications director, Chad, here, we had a conference call with a member of the, he's not actually a member, he is.
He
the-
is the head of the coordinating council.
And he
For
indicated
Kansas.
that they are working on the process, but there are so many counties in the
So
state of Kansas.
are we technologically capable of accepting those calls right now?
Yes. Geospatial routing is simply adjusting the cell phone towers to direct the calls to bounce to us instead of going to Independence, my understanding.
Correct.
Okay.
I was right.
Okay. All right, well, thank you, Chad,
Second,
Quinn.
I have one more
Okay.
question just on that line. Do they collect a fee for taking those calls?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That is money that we are not collecting.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So do we have an approximation of how much longer it takes? So we take that baby that's got a shoestring around its umbilical cord, and maybe it wasn't Officer Gaston, but it was a bystander on a cell phone. It's going to go up there and then come back to Chad,
That's correct.
opposed to just going straight to Chad. So are we talking approximation of how much longer it takes?
You know
Couple
the
minutes?
process better than me. It's
They-
improved because of the
It's
technology.
been approved, but it's the technology and the beta testing and getting the.
No,
cell
no,
phone-
no, not how long. How long does it take from that person at that house to call Independence and them radio you?
There's too many variables.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it would
Matters.
depend on if they would start taking protocol, doing protocol before they transfer. Horrible to say if they even transfer it correctly.
Or if
Okay.
their center's inundated with calls, perhaps they're on other lines.
all
I
right,
mean, I just can't give you an answer.
okay. Thank you.
Needless to say, not as fast if they called directly at Coffeyville.
It would be nice, and we're working on that.
Yep.
I don't have any more questions.
Sounds kind of complicated. Appreciate your help on it. I know that much.
He's chiefly responsible for this. I just provided the direction.
Good.
All right. Any other questions?
I move to approve Resolution 19-68.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Commissioner Van Oster to approve resolution number R-19-68. Commissioner Doan?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Chief.
Resolution number R-19-69, a resolution to receive authorization to issue an additional purchase order for repairs to boiler feed pump number 1. Mike Shook, Director of Electric, will make comments for 2 and 3? For the next 2.
Next two.
Yes.
Good evening, Mayor Commissioners. The first item I bring before you this evening is for your consideration is additional repairs to our number 1 boiler feed pump. If you recall, on October 8th, I came before the Commission seeking approval for the inspection and potential repairs of this pump, with the Commission approving a not-to-exceed amount of $39,068. Since that time, a complete inspection has been completed by Rue Pumping, determining that this pump will require a complete rebuild. The additional cost for this work is $98,569. Of that price, $2,000 is for freight charges. This would bring the total cost of repairs to $137,637. Therefore, staff is recommending that the mayor be authorized to direct the Director of Finance to issue an additional purchase order to Rue Pumping for repairs on, boiler feed pump number 1 in the amount not to exceed $98,569, and I would be happy to try to answer any questions that you may have.
I have a question. Where's this freight coming from?
Where is the
You
rate?
said, where's the freight coming from? You said 2,000 of that was freight charges?
So they sent their local truck up from Tulsa to pick up the pump. Once they got it down, got it open, saw the extensive repairs that were needed, they shipped it to their Louisiana shop. So we'll have to pay return freight. So we got an estimate on that.
How big is this?
Probably almost as lengthwise as long as the podium that you all are setting up.
So it's big.
It's big.
Fair question, though. And you had told us initially when we ran across this that was going to be the low end.
I didn't really
Right.
ever believe that
And I can't
39,000.
remember how much you said a new pump would cost.
About $500,000. I checked back. We had the other feed pump. We have actually 2 of these in the plant. I checked back. I think it was 2010 or 11. We had a pump completely rebuilt, and it was 85, almost 90,000 at that time.
And you said this pump is how old?
1970,
Yeah.
71.
So we've had a pretty good life out of it so far.
We've got our money's worth out of it.
I don't have any other questions.
Don't either. I move to approve resolution 19-69.
Second.
I'm sorry, who seconded?
Paul?
Thank you. Motion is made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Mayor Bauer to approve resolution number R-19-69. Vice Mayor Taylor,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster,
Aye.
Commissioner Doan,
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye. Resolution number R-19-70, resolution authorizing substation improvements, SCADA upgrade B substation, power plant substation, South Industrial Park substation. Mr. Shook will make comments on this also.
Mayor Commissioners, the City of Coffeyville Electric Utility installed supervisory control and data acquisition, also called SCADA, originally in the mid-1990s. Since that time, the utility has upgraded the master servers and operating stations and systems on 2 different occasions, but we have yet to ever upgrade the station masters and remote terminal units, also known as RTUs, that are located in the individual substations. We have experienced failures with at least 2 of these station masters or RTUs, including one time at Substation B. That's our main substation located on First Street, East First Street by the refinery. Siemens, the OEM, the original equipment manufacturer of this equipment and technology, no longer offers support for these units, making any repairs or finding replacement parts difficult to nearly impossible. We have reached out to Siemens, receiving a quote to replace the outdated units at Substation B, Power Plant, and South Industrial Park substations. The attached quote in your packet includes the equipment and on-site installation, including training on this new equipment. Therefore, staff is recommending the approval to issue a purchase order to Siemens Industry for the replacement and upgrades to the SCADA system for the electric utility. And I would be happy to try to answer any questions that
Do
you
we
may have.
have to have that, right?
We have to have that.
It's-
If it fails, then our operators in the plant can't see if breakers open in the substations. It's our telemetry. It's how we open and close breakers from the power plants to the substations. It's also how we report breaker status back to AEP, GRDA, and Southwest Power Pool.
You know, it's unfortunate that things become obsolete, you know, and sounds like this is the case here.
With the newer technology,
Right.
really,
New
if you can get
technology.
10 years out of stuff, it's.
And I don't have a problem with it. I understand it. We do retrofits all the time on machines, so it's just the way it works. If there's no other questions, I'll move to approve resolution number R-19-70.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Mayor Bauer and seconded by Commissioner Van Oster to approve resolution number R-19-70. Vice Mayor Taylor?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Doan?
Aye.
Mayor Bauer?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, sir.
Resolution number R-19-71, resolution to authorize agreement with Olson for engineering services on the Highland Road reconstruction project. Superintendent of Engineering Thomas Osborne will make comments for next 3 items.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This item I have before you this evening is for reconstructing Highland Road from First Street all the way down to Fairway, Norwood, Highland intersection. So it's kind of a strange triangle conglomerate there. I can't remember, it's probably been 6, 7 years, I can't remember exactly the years, we passed the sales tax, and we dedicated 70% of that sales tax to preservation, which we've done this year with the street seals, and then 30% of that sales tax was dedicated to try to rebuild some roads that have completely failed. A lot of that reconstruction is we're focusing on the intersections, and then we're kind of building up our funds over time. For projects like this one. A couple of years ago, we did Wilshire, same length. City staff sent out RFQs. We received 7 responses from qualified engineers. They're all good responses. We put together a selection committee that reviewed all those, and ultimately we chose Olson. Brian with Olson is actually here if you have any questions for him. This agreement is a not-to-exceed agreement of $177,200. This includes an estimated 90 days of daily on-site construction inspection.
So that's as the project is moving along?
This includes both the design, the bid process, and the construction inspection.
Okay.
Yep.
I was looking through the phase 100 through 600, and yeah, that's one of the questions I was going to ask on that, was that it was during the construction phase itself.
No, and this is a very needed project. We actually had earlier this year, we had to go out and remove a piece of curb that had shoved up and completely blocked the driveway.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a needed project right along the edge of the roads. Has completely failed due to largely heavier vehicles, trash trucks in particular, just not really designed for it. So
I had one individual contact me numerous times over his downstairs, or where his car parking was street level, and the water would rush into his garage when it rained. So that not a good thing.
no,
Right.
this should help alleviate that, because we would, of course, be redoing driveway approaches to make sure that everything lines up with the new curb and gutter, as well as we are looking to put sidewalk on at least one side. So.
That would be,
This-
that would almost kind of fall into our Safe Routes to School.
Tie very close to the Safe Routes to School, and if we are awarded with the Safe Routes grants that we have applied for the first part of November, that will go right along this section.
Okay.
Now, what's this gentleman's name from Olson?
Brian Coombs.
Brian?
with Olson.
Oh, there you are. You from Tulsa?
He's actually out of the Pittsburgh office.
Okay. Okay, Brian. You know, come all the way over here, you get an opportunity to say something, you know.
Jim's always welcome to
We
let
like
him.
to see young people speak to old people. How's that?
Well, thank you, sir. Yeah, my name's Brian Coombs. I'm a civil engineer with Olson. As Thomas mentioned, I'm in Pittsburgh, Kansas. We have an
Okay.
office there, and you have experience with our office in Joplin, Missouri as well. So a lot of close proximity to the town, and we're here and excited to help out on this project. So thank you for the opportunity.
Olson's a pretty good-sized firm, I understand.
Yeah, we're about 1,200 people and over 30 offices throughout the Midwest. So yeah, very, very large outfit and very capable. So
I've got a little experience with them out of Tulsa, and they're a pretty good bunch, I know that.
Thank
So
you.
anyway, glad you're here.
Glad to be here.
Okay, help us with this project.
Any other
Thank you,
questions or
Brian.
comments?
No, thank you,
I
Brian.
have none. I move that we approve resolution number R-19-71.
Second.
Motion is made by Commissioner Van Oster and seconded by Mayor Bauer to approve resolution number R-19-71. Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Mayor Bauer?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Taylor?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster?
Aye.
Commissioner Doan?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thomas gets to stay, I know that. Resolution number R-19-72, a resolution to approve supplemental request from KDOT for third-party engineering services on Safe Routes to School project, SRTS. Thomas Osborne.
Thank you again. So these supplemental agreements with KDOT, it concerns the three-way agreement between BG Consultants and KDOT and the city for the construction inspection services on the Safe Routes to School grant. As you've seen, we're inching ever closer to Fourth and Klein, which will be the final area for the Safe Routes to School grant. In building the sidewalk north on Parkview, largely on Parkview, we ran into a lot of tree roots that were basically, the trees were gonna die and cause a issue for citizens walking down our brand new sidewalk. So to do that, we had to get the trees to be removed, and KDOT awarded 25 additional days to the Safe Routes to School contractor. This agreement covers cost only for the additional inspection required. There's no overhead, or there's no profit on this. This is exactly direct costs, just to cover BG's direct costs. So I'd be happy to try to answer any questions.
So the $15,946.69, that was an 80-20 split. So
That's
do we
the
pay
same.
20% of that?
We pay 20% of that.
Of the 15,000?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted clarification on.
Okay, sounds good, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to approve the motion is read.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Vice Mayor Taylor and seconded by Mayor Bauer to approve resolution number R-19-72. Commissioner Doan?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Taylor?
Aye.
Mayor Bauer?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Resolution number R-19-73, a resolution to approve a lease agreement for the city-owned asphalt lot at 800 East 8th Street. Just to put everybody in mind, that's the super old Walmart parking lot across from Save-A-Lot. Thomas Osborne, sorry.
Just making sure you're done. Thank you again. So with every couple of years, CVR Energy has a very large turnaround. You see a large influx of thousands of workers brought into the city of Coffeyville for anywhere from a couple of months to half a year, just depending on exactly what they're doing that year. So as part of that, they are needing some laydown area for a large crane to be able to put together some stuff that they need for this turnaround. So they approached the city of Coffeyville on that lot. It's just right down the road, great access. You know, it's a solid surface, so they're not having to deal with any gravel or vegetation, stuff like that. It was discussed, and the idea brought forward actually by Mark to, instead of just taking a cash payment and it'll disappear somewhere into the general fund, will be used for the citizens of Coffeyville, but to actually instead take that cash payment and turn it into a donation. So that donation would actually be park equipment to be decided on concurrently with CVR Energy and with the city of Coffeyville on what equipment it is and where it would be placed. So for this lease agreement, it's from December 1st through, I believe it was March. I can't remember the day off the top of my head. December 1st and ending through June. So 7 months, at a rate of approximately $2,500 a month in park equipment donation, with the option to extend that for if they have additional needs, or if just the turnaround ends up dragging on for whatever reason. We don't, as you've seen this past summer, nobody can predict the weather. So in the event that they extend it, they would make payment every 6 months in that same amount to the city of Coffeyville to be dedicated towards park equipment for the parks in the city of Coffeyville. Be happy to try to answer any questions.
So to be clear, go ahead. So to be clear, we're going to fence this, they're going to fence this off completely, right? Because
Yes.
right now, I drive by there every single day, and there's a lot of tractor trailers that park in there and sleep overnight.
No, that's the first thing they'll do is they'll actually bring in a temporary fencing company, fence it all off. They'll provide security for it.
Okay.
There's a requirement for insurance as well. And they'll provide all that. And so we're not liable for anything there.
Okay.
And the only thing, and then we won't repair anything that's just not needed repaired, but it's to be, other than wear and tear, they'll repair it.
Maintained.
So any fence holes or whatever for supporting on the fence, those things will be repaired. But
I will say, Thomas was the one that put this together.
I think it's a creative way to assign some money to the parks group
It
too, so.
is. Thomas worked very, very hard on this, and I want to thank Paul. It was just a different approach, and Thomas ran with it and did a good thing. And like you can see, this is $17,500, the initial, and we will be working with the Parks Board. We'll work with CVR and come up with a great thing for the youth of Coffeyville. So it's a
So-
great partnership together.
Will we sit down with CVR and discuss this?
We'll coordinate with originally who Thomas has been coordinating.
Who will coordinate with them?
Thomas.
Okay.
yeah, I'll
So will
coordinate with them
Thomas
and the Parks
coordinate
Board.
with us then?
Yes.
Okay. And I mean, we have a Parks Board too, so we're going to
Yes.
include their input too, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Wonderful.
That's where I was gonna go. Is this payment going to be in a lump sum, the 17,000, or is it over the course of them?
The 17,000 they'll either cut the city of Coffeyville a check to order the equipment, or they will order the equipment and have it delivered to the city of Coffeyville.
Okay, and who is making the decision on what equipment we're getting and?
That'll be the conversation with me, the Parks Board, anybody with this commission, and then with CBR as far as what we need to get. So we'll be coordinating that with everybody.
And the additional monies is should they stay longer, they will assist us in possibly another project. So it is one of those that they've been gracious to do this. Thomas, originally, the rental would have been considerably lower. And this was a creative idea that he suggested to them, and he worked with them, and they saw the value in doing something for the youth of Coffeyville. So what you're seeing in the price is higher than what normally would have been
Yep.
for the parking lot.
I think it's a good opportunity,
Okay.
you know.
Very good.
It's great.
I got a question.
And go ahead, Jim.
Well, Thomas, I hate to bring it up, but that asphalt out there, is that a consideration?
The asphalt, it's
parking lot.
in really bad shape. So I mean, we've looked at it anyway. We don't really want tractor trailers parking on it. We actually discussed if they decided to need to extend the lease, if maybe instead of additional park equipment, they'd leave the fence. but permanent fencing is significantly higher cost to have a permanent fence, so that it was cost prohibitive on that, and that's where the additional.
Yeah, I just know
every
that
6
parking lot's
months.
gonna get all tore up, and I think.
We just assume the parking lot be gone.
It's already
in
really
reality.
tore up.
Okay, just
It's-
wanted to make sure that was clear. And I would like to, I mean, that's gonna come up with that fence, I would like to, if it was me, I'd be trying to look at the cost of that permanent fence, because if it's gonna be 6 months, then they need it again. Might be worth trying to negotiate something to have that fence up, I would think. I don't know.
We talked to them, and potentially if something is destroyed in enough area, we will actually remove that parking and go back to grass, because it's a liability, that parking lot. There's no lighting, and it's on it's city owned, so there's no reason. We don't want truck drivers parking there. We don't want, it's just a general liability.
We just have to mow it some more is all.
So I'm completely on board with this. However, I know I can't, but I'm going to. I'm going to ask that we change this resolution. I know it's resolution -19-73, and I know I can't tie future hands of future commissions, but I can put it in a resolution that would make them have to dissolve that resolution and then redebate it at that time. Is that correct?
I think so, yes.
Okay. So I would propose a resolution of 19-73 to read: a resolution to approve a lease agreement for the city of Coffeyville for owned asphalt lot at 800 East 8th, and that it needs to be put in this resolution that the money that we receive by these contributions are to go exclusively for the purchase of playground equipment, and that the allocation of that money for playground equipment is to include the city commission and the park board.
Cool.
And you can frame that however you want, but I want those two things in that resolution. That way that doesn't get lost in the scuffle a year and a half down the line. That way we know exactly what we were intending on doing with this money.
Yes, sir.
Tonight. So
Sounds
frame
good.
that however you want. Give me something. Repeat it back to me however you want it, that it includes that, and I'll move to approve it. Help me,
I
Paul.
was gonna say, we could always be
Help me.
subject to city commission and board approval.
So do we want to table this for tonight and approve it at the next meeting?
Well, I
Or
would
do we
just
want
add
to just
that in the
add that into the
resolution.
end of the
The
resolution?
agreement's pretty
And
sound.
that money is to be
Allocated
used
directly towards.
exclusively
Yeah.
for park or playground improvements.
I think we all understand it, it's not
Yeah,
just,
I'll reword the resolution. Did you prepare the resolution?
Yeah.
I'm not finding it right off
We will make sure that is incorporated in that. But it will,
Do we have
based
any?
on your approval.
Yeah, do we have any other questions or comments on this?
I'd make a motion to approve, as read and discussed.
As Commissioner Williams presented. Yep.
With the changes.
I would second that.
Okay. Motion is made by Vice Mayor Taylor and seconded by Mayor Bauer to approve resolution number R-19-73 with the changes recommended by Commissioner Williams. Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Taylor?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster?
Aye.
Commissioner Doan?
Aye.
Mayor Bauer?
Aye.
Thanks,
Thank you.
thank you, Thomas. Good work, Thomas.
I'm gonna flip flop 7 and 8 around. Okay. We're gonna do 8 first.
Okay.
Resolution number R-19-74, resolution to approve the City of Coffeyville fee schedule for 2020. Stephanie Richardson will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, when we did our codification of our ordinances, we pulled all of our city fees out and put them into an actual fee schedule that would be reviewed annually by the commissioners. So we're bringing this to you this evening to look at some adjustments in the fees. First would be the golf course rates. We had talked earlier in the year about reinstating the senior single rate and the senior couple rate. So this includes that at the discount that we had discussed with those interested in that. We've added a 24-hour curbside abatement fee. We also discussed that earlier this year in one of the commission meetings with Thomas. We specified that all license fees are non-refundable. Changed the electric meter testing minimum charge to $75 because we send each of those meters out that are requested to be tested. Those are sent out to a third party for testing. And the water meter testing fees to $25 for a 5/8 inch meter, and actual costs for larger size meters. In the meter testing process, if any of those meters ever test bad, then there's no fee to the customer for that. So those are the changes that we've proposed for this year's, or the 2020 rate schedule. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer those.
I don't have any questions. Does anybody else?
Nope.
I move that we approve resolution number R-19-74.
Second.
Motion is made by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Mayor Bauer to approve resolution number R-19-74. Vice Mayor Taylor?
Aye.
Commissioner Doan?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster?
Aye.
Mayor Bauer?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
We'll move into the CVR. So let's go to number 9. Resolution number R-19-75, a resolution to approve the lump sum fiscal performance payment. City Manager Mark Hall will make comments.
Mayor, Commissioners, what you have before the city this last year is spent trying to come up with new ways to save the taxpayers money, not only to the general fund, but ratepayers also to the enterprise funds. And through that efficiency that the city's been going through, it has led to ending the year on a better note and going into 2020. With that, discussions with the union and with non-union personnel, it was a small fraction of those savings would be dedicated in a lump sum payment. There is conditions on those that it would be 3%, but it would be for those who are not receiving any kind of form of raise throughout the year of 2019. The unions have understood the situation of the city. They do understand that going forward that it will always be based on the performance of anything that we can do in the future. I think this is a good move in working together, that we must perform as efficiently as we can for them to be rewarded in the future. This is, like I say, is just a one-time. This is not added to the base. This is just a lump sum. For those that have received contractually, they would receive 1%. I have those figures, but it is, from what we're looking at going into 2020, which benefits not only the taxpayer but the ratepayers, we will keep trying to find more ways to be more efficient. So with that, with the approval, this would be, if the commission approves, it would be available to employees as of December 1st. It would be under the conditions that were presented to the union and to non-union personnel, and that tentatively under FSLA requirements, but the lump sum would be awarded on the 13th of December. There is a requirement that we pay certain fees, which we will not know that in the overtime until December 31st. And so then there will be a small payment after the end of the year. But I think this is, and I think they all understand, staff, that we must work together to be more efficient and save the taxpayers money and do everything possible with the idea of holding the mill levy for the future of the citizens of Coffeyville.
Okay, so how does this affect our mill levy?
It doesn't.
No, it does
It
not.
doesn't affect our mill levy. No, this is just,
It's a way to give back without affecting the mill levy.
right.
Right.
And this is,
Some excess
like I
funds we
said, that there was, unless contractually, but the people that you would be giving this to have accepted that nothing was going to be done. And that goes for union and non-union.
All right.
I have one quick question. So
Yes.
on the criteria there to become more efficient,
Yes,
and
sir.
it goes down in lists, is there a matrix, I mean, is that subjective to you, like limit spending?
Yes.
Is it limits so much? Is it just showing,
We project
Progression.
each year on the budget,
Uh-huh.
and as you're aware, our projected walk-in balance, carryover balance, if you would be 1.4 million.
okay,
With the cost savings in that, we look at that after the deduction, it is one, would that change that figure in any way? And anything above that, it is basically a judgment call, which we look at going into the next year, that we'll be in a position that could be well over 800,000. So it is more or less wanting to protect and being able to hold the mill levy in the future by actions that we do. And that's why giving you those numbers, it is that what we project going in and holding the mill levy next year is we will not jeopardize that position.
so is it the same kind of situation with the overtime reduction? You
Yes.
set a certain amount that's
Yes.
acceptable?
There's certain things that we do. This year, we've had a lot of, with the flood, rain,
Yeah.
and this stuff. It is, all departments are trying to sit there and control overtime. It'll increase as time goes on. There's certain obligations that are contractually that we can't control. But the efficiency on purchasing, all those things went in, the way we're budgeting, contracts that we're using. It is one of those, all those go into the mix of trying to save the taxpayer dollars. And it is, we hope to always improve each year. I think it is, instead of taking for granted that, we're gonna have to always look at what our performance is as we proceed. And that gets into, like I've explained, it gets into, that picture is not clear until the third quarter or fourth quarter. And that is the sad thing with budgeting is in governmental, you start off and you're looking at the ending balance 18 months down the road. And it is at that you sit there and you can either give up and say this is it, or you can try to do things. And so that's what we look at is, instead of the 18 months, we're going to look at our performance so we know where we're going to be the last 3 months of that 18 months and make those decisions like we are now, presenting to the commission. So we'll keep on having to do the 18 months, but I will say that I know the commission, and should the commission approve, it is one of those, this is a decision, and this award would be because of your understanding of what they're trying to do.
I don't have any questions. I move to approve resolution R-19-75.
I'll second.
I'm sorry, was that you? Okay. Motion is made by Commissioner Williams and seconded by Commissioner Doan to approve resolution number R-19-75. Vice Mayor Taylor?
Aye.
Commissioner Van Oster?
Aye.
Commissioner Doan?
Aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Mayor Bauer?
Aye. Okay, we'll open this up to CVR discussion. I think this leads to, as much as anything, that we want to really push some dialogue with CVR. You know, I've talked to Commissioner Doan and Commissioner Williams and through text messages and on the phone, but it seems like the feedback we get from the outside, from the public, is that we're not working very well with CVR. That's the impression that I think the commission is getting from discussions that we've had through MAC members and just various people through the community, and maybe even to the point where maybe some of this is relayed to us through CVR. I don't know, but you know, Chris made a great comment to me on the phone one night. Was we need them and they need us, so we need to be a partnership and not be pulled in different directions. We all need to be working towards one common goal, and again, it's in our best interest from the city to have them as a partner instead, you know, as an ally. And I don't know if anyone else wants to elaborate on it. I know, again, there's been some voices around the community that have had some concerns on this subject, and I just want to reassure them that from the commission, or at least from my seat in the ballpark up here, I'm more than willing to listen to anything that CVR wants to come to us and talk about. I would welcome that open dialogue, and you know, I would fully support them. They're a huge industry in Coffeyville, and I would entertain anyone else that would like to add some comments.
Well, who put this on the agenda?
I put this on the agenda
Okay.
from comments from other
Okay,
commissioners.
Okay. I didn't know.
Yep.
You and I haven't talked much lately.
Yep.
We're both busy, and that's great. I understand your comment and concern. I've been out of town for 4 months on a project, come back for a couple meetings.
Yep.
There was one meeting that we missed, and I heard some of this noise in the background that there might have been a problem on, just for the record. But I thought the commission's done everything. Maybe I'm ignorant, but I thought the commission, the city's done everything we can to support them. If we're not, I need to hear from somebody. I'm not going to be here on the commission much longer, but you know, they're one of my biggest accounts, okay? And we do everything we can when the phone rings, and that's two separate things. But I'm just saying, I've always done everything I can to support every industry. I follow and ditto your comment, but I don't know of anything we haven't done to support it. I'm just saying, okay? I don't know of anything. I've been gone. I've been working my butt off, and you know, so and so and so and so. But I thought our city manager. I know there was one missed meeting or something a while back, and Rick Thompson calls up about it, and we talked to Rick and some other people. I hate to throw his name out there, but anyway, I think the commission does everything we can to support all industry, okay? And that's big for me, okay? I'm leaving, I'm checking out of here pretty quick, but it's always been big for me to try to support industry. And, you know.
Well, as much as anything, what I wanted to put it out there is that for whoever's watching, whether it's six people or 60 people, they can see that, you know, the commission welcomes any conversations that they want to have with us. You know, if they want to do certain things, that public property that we want to talk about, come to us, talk to us. I welcome it. We have an open door policy as far as I'm concerned. You're more than welcome. We meet here twice a month, pretty consistent. So.
Rod, we attended the light that downtown, they gave it.
Yes.
We had some donators from some different businesses for some lights downtown. I don't know how much it was, $10,000, 20?
$20,000 worth of lights.
And the refinery chipped in about 7,000, I understand.
In that neighborhood, yes.
We got to meet with some of them last night, and yes, We got a lot of good businesses here in town, and we're here to support all of them as
Again,
best we can.
I don't think there's any ill will towards anyone.
I hope
I just
not.
want to clear the air that,
Right.
we're here to help as much as we can. I know we're limited on what we can do also, but as far as being here to come to us, talk about, have questions, concerns, want to argue, whatever you want to do, we're always right here at 6:30, second and fourth Tuesday of every month. Maybe December might be an exception, but we're pretty consistent other than that.
Thank you.
I'll just add that, a couple of the hot topics, we've been going through negotiations with electric utility rates. I'm happy to, that we've come to an agreement. Negotiations were very cordial. Of course, it's business, and there were some benefits for some sides and benefits for other side, as discussed in our meeting last night. The other, when they had the town hall meeting downtown, they talked about a big expansion. We want all kinds of growth. We're not going to argue with growth. If they want to, if there needs to be a meeting to sit down and talk about existing infrastructure and what needs to take place and future planning, we always welcome that. They are a partner. They're a great asset to the community. Yeah, we're here with open ears.
Yes, sir.
Charles Weed, 207 West New. The noise problem, what it is they're destroying block after block coming east, coming west from the refinery. And before those buildings were tore down, people that were in the 100, 200, 300 block west weren't hearing the refinery.
Right.
Well, now they're in their third row and fourth row of blocks of buildings that they're buying up and tearing down. That noise no longer has those buildings to block it, so that noise is coming west with destruction. And the second thing is, those buildings, they get torn down, that means they're no longer taxed. Equally important, when those buildings get sold to CVR and torn down, we lose those bedrooms. That means the people that were living in those houses 6 months, a year, 18 months ago, they're living somewhere else, and a lot of them are not living in Coffeyville anymore. And so that is, up against our tax base as well. And that's what the people up around the refinery are seeing. And, that's what the people living there are worried about.
All valid points, Charlie. I know that was one of our budget problems this year was the demolition of property on that side of town. And when you have a house on a property and you tear the house down, the property value goes down. Therefore, the tax goes down. We lose money. So we have to make that up somehow, or we have to cut things out, right? So believe me, I know that you're dealing with the noise problem. We're dealing with financial problem on that side of it too. So it hits all of us in one way or another. So I can understand where you're coming from. I don't have a solution for the noise problem. That part of having an industry in the heart of your town, especially a town this size. So.
But nonetheless, it's not like we're going to shut them down and kick them out of town, Charles, because they're a huge asset to our community.
I understand they can't be shut down.
Yeah.
But there are noise abatement procedures that can be put in place that don't cost a lot, and it would not only help with noise abatement, but also act as part of the security barrier should that place explode again or catch fire again.
Yeah.
Now, I've been out there when both have happened, and I see all those buildings that used to be between us and them.
Mm-hmm.
They would help block that explosion.
Right.
They're not there anymore, and there's nothing in place to stop it. Now, if they're going to do something like put in more fuel storage tanks or something like that, put something constructive in between,
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
In the meantime.
Fair
Thank you,
questions.
Charles.
Thank you, Charles. Any other questions or comments on this subject?
Nope.
Nope.
Moving to the city manager's report.
Mayor, Commissioners, we're moving into the holiday season. I want to thank you for the meeting again last night to get that agreement moving forward. We have reached out and contacted CRNF, and there will, when everything is finalized and all the signatures, we'll get, the commission.
Yep.
All signatures are on there. Just want to thank staff. I know you saw tonight, 2 departments, fire and police, and there's a bunch more that are working very hard to close out the year. I want to personally thank you. I don't, on the lump sum, there was a suggestion of how to do that, and I don't want to single out a single commissioner, but I know he knows who I'm talking to. It was a suggestion to show something to staff that, the city believes in what they're trying to do, and they're truly trying to change. And it's for the better. They've always been a great staff, it's just doing some things differently. But I want to thank Electric. Those guys are going to get up those lights. They got up to Christmas. But middle of the month, we should start hopefully seeing the new lights. They will go up, and it will be a project that will go into the next year. But they are continually doing things, and I know you're aware of the change of colors of our lights above the electric plant here in town. But everybody is rushing to get things done. 11th Street, we are still listening to KDOT. They do have control of the project. They are still working today.
Yep.
We're hoping to get, the ideal is to at least get to a point where 11th Street is open both ways for traffic. It might very well, I know you want that done, but KDOT will make that decision. They are looking at where we're at in the weather coming up, so.
Looked like they had some curbing done.
Yeah,
So,
we'll keep you informed on that, but I just want to say thank you to staff for all that they do, and I know you appreciate it, but they've got a lot they're working on to get done by the end of the year. So if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer those.
thank you. So at this time, we'll take comments from the public. Rules of the commission for public comments is any citizen desiring to address the commission shall be recognized by the chair, advance to the podium, state his or her name and address in an audible tone for the record. Presentation shall be limited to 3 minutes unless extended by a vote of the majority of the commission. The commission does not hear matters involving litigation or city personnel. The commission does not take action on subjects not on the agenda unless unusual or hardship conditions exist. Citizens may address the commission on agenda items as they are brought to the floor. I welcome anyone that would like to step to the podium.
We could make a oh, never mind, I'm sorry. Didn't see you coming. Sorry, Marcus. Go ahead.
Marcus Kassler, 502 Overlook. What I'd like to address today is your cold weather policy for shutting off electric. I had a recent incident in my family that this has came to light with. I shared it with Paul Bauer in an email. Due to privacy concerns, I'm not going to mention names or anything. I inquired about the cold weather procedure, and the email I got back stated that from December 1st to March 1st, they cannot turn off electric. And I understand that. What happened with my incident was it was just recently turned off, and it was below freezing temperatures. The Kansas Corporation Commission, who oversees other energy agencies, has a rule that if it is 32 below, no matter what the weather, that they cannot turn it off. I understand this is Kansas, and every time you turn around, it could be winter one part of the day and spring the next. And I understand that, and I understand business. And business means you have to have cash revenue coming in. But I would like you guys to consider somewhere down the line changing the policy to what the Kansas, the Corporation Commission offers.
Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate you coming this tonight and bringing that forward.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Come right on up.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners,
Hello.
City staff, Bill Wollensnyder, 1314 West 5th. We've had a little problem with trash.
Okay.
And I think what we want to do is ask the commission to set aside the bill. And so I understand that the commission doesn't take action on that on these, at this session.
Okay.
So I
We'll be
think
happy
we
to hear
need to
from
get
you.
on the agenda, and we weren't sure about doing that. We talked to the city clerk last week ago, Monday.
Okay.
And they told us that they needed to email the commission and see if they wanted to listen to that. And I didn't understand between the agenda and the public comment session, so that's kind of what I'm checking with now, with your permission, is to verify that we need to go to the agenda, and they told us we need to do some paperwork, a packet for the commissioners to address what we want.
Okay.
And,
I would be interested to hear what you're asking for. If you can give me a call tomorrow,
Okay, sir.
after 4 o'clock, I would be more than happy to discuss this with you, and we may be able to do something, take care of something
Okay, sir.
outside of the commission meeting. If I'm not sure what the request is, so
Well,
before we put it on the agenda to have
we
to
were-
approve something or
Some charges were assessed to us, and we'd like to have those removed. So-
okay, well,
okay.
once I get the
Yes, sir.
details, then
Can you just give us like because
yeah.
obviously you can't make it, could you just like give us
Okay,
a small?
there was some trash on the property when we bought it, and we were told that it would be removed, and it wasn't, and we took a trip, and when we had son-in-law come check the place, because it got cold, that there was a notice on the door, stuff had to be removed within 24 hours. And, that put us out to lunch, because we couldn't come back.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Got it.
Yeah, yeah,
that's where we're
We
at.
understand.
We were charged for that, so, we'd like to have that canceled or whatever.
Okay. We can discuss that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Commission.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
This may be a little difficult. I have a sore throat. I'm Jerome Ganatic from South Coffeyville, and I'm on the 911 Nowata County Commission. When setting up the 911 Trust Authority for Nowata County, and I appreciate the council's commissioners' vote to get this approved for Nowata County, because I've been working with Chad and Quinn for several months in working out a working relationship and how we can pull this project together. So I thank you for your vote.
Thank you
My
for
job,
coming up.
My job will be to convince Oklahoma to go with it too.
Good. Thank you, Jerome.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Jerome.
it.
Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else?
So where do you live, Jerome?
South Coffeyville.
Okay.
He's the mayor of South Coffeyville.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he
Okay.
is.
For the 911.
I just.
I'll be here tomorrow or next council for the mayor of South Coffeyville.
All right.
Right, good.
At this time, we'll take comments from commissioners and staff.
Oh, I just want to say congratulations to my partner here for he made the commission. So I'll say that. That's all I got to say.
Good. I really don't have anything. Happy Thanksgiving. I want to thank the hospital for welcoming us last night. We had a meeting with the hospital board, and they presented some information to us, and I want to thank them for allowing us the time to come and present that.
Very good.
So it was good.
Before we meet again, we'll have the Christmas parade. I
Next
hope
Friday.
hope everybody's there. And
When is that?
I know Candy's working hard on it. December 6th.
December 6th.
Candy's working hard. So
Who's working hard?
Candy. Well, I'm sure
Okay.
the chamber. I shouldn't just say
Okay.
Candy's working hard. The whole chamber.
Okay,
There's a lot of
okay.
people that it takes to put this thing on, not just Candy. So I should clarify.
Okay. So December 6th is what day of the week?
Friday.
Friday. Next.
Friday.
It's next. Not this
o'clock.
Friday. The Friday after.
Okay. Well, I knew. I just want everybody else to know.
Right.
I just wanted to update the commission. I don't know if you noticed, but Mike snuck out just a little while ago. We do have poles that are snapping off in the wind.
Yeah.
So we have some power outages going on. So just to remind customers that if you are out of power or you know of someone that's out of power, you can call 252-6180. That gets you to the power plant and lets them know that your specific residence is without. So
We're snapping off now?
Yeah.
with the wind outside,
Yeah,
yes.
It's supposed to be blowing 40
Not
miles
really
an hour.
bad.
it's a good building.
Or call Mayor Bauer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
didn't
I know
even
somebody that knows somebody.
But we do have linemen out, so we're trying to get those back on as soon as we can.
All right.
Good to know.
Very good.
Thank you,
I
Stephanie.
had
I
no
think
idea. It was-
one other thing before we adjourn is that obviously with this, well, anyway, happy Thanksgiving to the citizens and the staff of the city of Coffeyville from the Coffeyville City Commission.
Yep.
It's been kind of a rough year, and it's going to get better. Truly convinced of that. So happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight.
Yes.
At this time, I'll make a motion that we recess to executive session pursuant to KSA 75-4319B1 regarding personal matters of non-elected personnel to include city attorney and city manager, and return to open session at 8:30.
20 minutes?
Let's just go 8:30.
Okay.
Make it an even round number. If we come back early, great.
Perfect.
I got to have a second here.
I'll second.
Oh, second.
Okay, wait, I heard 3 seconds.
Everybody seconded.
Everybody seconded.
Anne Marie gets it.
Okay, thank you. Motion is made by Mayor Bauer and seconded by Commissioner Van Oster to recess to executive session pursuant to KSA 75-4319B1 regarding personnel matters of non-elected personnel to include city attorney and city manager, and returning to open session at 8:30. Commissioner Van Oster?
Aye.
Bill.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Doan?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Taylor?
All right.
Mayor Bauer?
Aye. Thank you. screen.